You thirst for some significance of the both dimensional kind. You enter a realm of spirit, of sight and sound and mind. Your radio is a cosmic doorway and your psyche begins to spark. When you tune in to Gary and the Sun and Night Dreams After Dark.
Listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
That is me. Well, I hope everybody's having a great week. This week is just going by so fast. You know, I was thinking today was Wednesday, and this morning I was talking to my wife before she went to work, and she goes, no, today is Thursday. So, boy, I don't know. It's just been moving. I guess the older you get, the faster it goes. I don't know. Hey, James, how you doing?
I'm doing much better, and I got to tell you, I feel blessed that I don't split my head and get honey put on it. Geesh.
Could you imagine? How would of anything in the world, I would never think about if I had a split penis. I mean, you know, honey. Do you realize? Wouldn't that attract insects and all that other stuff?
I would think so. Here's the thing. Here's a scary thought. There must have been some test subjects before this guy that this doctor was confident that this was the cure. I mean, that's what's scary. Jeez.
I just never would think about honey. You know, I like honey on my bread, but you know, I mean, come on. I just never heard anything like that. Some of this weird news, you know, is like real weird. Like a guy dropped his iPhone in a lake and he found it 16 months later, and it worked. Now, how come his iPhone can be dropped in a lake for 16 months? It works. My son puts his in the wash machine, turns it on, and then realizes it after it's gone through half a cycle. We bring it out, and naturally the phone is like toasted. 16 months? Come on. I don't buy that one.
Well, maybe he might have bought insurance. Usually if you buy insurance, you usually don't have to use it, see? And that's the thing. But there are some iPhones out there, believe it or not, that they can be submerged, and it won't bother them, which is weird. I don't know how that works, but, I mean, mine, spill a little bit of stuff on it, you got to bury it in rice for a day. It's ridiculous.
Oh. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we tried that routine, too, with cell phones. I mean, you know, that's the biggest... How can they justify the price of these cell phones? My daughter just bought a new cell phone. In fact, my wife just bought one not even 2 weeks ago. And it was like $1,100 for a cell phone. It's only going to last maybe 2 years if we're lucky.
Well, not only that, they become obsolete in about that much time anyway because of all the different stuff. And now they got this thing where they're going to be coming out where if everything's going to be like 5G, and if you don't have at least a 3G, anything under that's going to be like obsolete, won't even work or be compatible.
Now, have you read all of the garbage about what 5G is supposed to do to humans?
Yeah, I have brain cancer and all kind of craziness.
Maybe that's a problem. People using cell phones has been doing brain damage to them. You realize that? I saw a couple of weeks ago where a guy was using a cell phone and it exploded. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I think the manufacturer is going to have to pay a lot of money to put the guy's face back like it used to be.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize cell phones have a lithium battery in it. And a lot of things have lithium in it. And these lithium batteries, lithium and water does not mix. If it takes just, all it would take would be one drop of perspiration from a person hit an open, say a battery's open or exposed, and any water hits that lithium, instantly you have 3,000 degree explosion and fire instantly. They are dangerous batteries, let me tell you. Lithium is.
That's another thing too. If you have a cell phone and you go out and buy a battery, you go buy from the original manufacturer. Don't go on one of these places, online that auction stuff off, because you think you're buying the original battery, and it could be counterfeit, and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know all of a sudden if your phone's going to catch on fire. I had that happen about a year and a half ago with my Samsung. I went online to this big online auction place. I'm not going to say who it is. Boy, Bay. But I didn't. But anyway, I bought a battery from them. It was ridiculously low. The carrier, for Verizon, they wanted $70-some for the battery, and they said it would take a couple days to get it. Well, I went on this online site. I got it for like $6 and something, and it worked really good for a couple of weeks. And then one day, I felt something really hot in my pocket. No, I'm not talking about that. No. But I reached down in my pocket, and my phone is like melting.
Oh, my God.
All the plastic on it is all melted and all that. The battery just like shorted. And, I remember taking it out, and the battery was so hot you couldn't even touch it.
Yeah, that's some red flags right there. And let me tell you, there was an airline flight a few years back that went down and crashed. And what happened? They were hauling lithium batteries from China, and there was a water leak, and it kept dripping on those batteries. And between the flight from China to here, it had gotten into those lithium, and water and lithium does not mix. Instantly, you will have a 3,000 degree fire explosion. And that actually brought a plane down. So that, lithium's it's no joke. There was a video online of a guy who had a lithium battery in his pocket, regular Duracell, whatever, lithium battery. And he must have some change in there, and it shorted out. And when that did, it caused a 3,000 degree instantly fire on him. It was on video. It was bizarre.
Don't mention the name of the battery companies, please.
Okay, well, they all make them, but anyway, their lithium batteries are dangerous stuff. You got to be careful with them.
Yeah, and then you know what they do with lithium batteries when they go dead. There's a certain group of people out there that recover lithium batteries.
Yeah, I know why too.
Yeah,
they do bad things with them, and a lot of them blow themselves up because they'll perspire or get water on it, and they don't realize. Next thing you know, you got a 3,000 degree heat explosion on you.
No, it's called meth.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, bad stuff.
Yeah. At one place, again, in between radio jobs, that break I took and managed a couple professional camera stores, people would come in there. There was a guy, older guy, would come in, and he would take all our old batteries. And we couldn't figure out why. And then all of a sudden he made it in the newspaper. He was actually got caught. He was making meth. He was getting, lithium is used in meth. And we were dumb. We didn't know that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main ingredients, which is that's one of the main things when you see people they blow themselves up with these things. That's one of the things they get water dropped on it, and boom, it's all over.
Yeah, well, I can tell you one thing. You don't want to make meth. You don't need to get into meth. But I tell you what, lithium batteries done right. Even one of the major airline manufacturing companies, I'm not going to mention their name in the United States, they had problems back a few years ago on their couple of their planes where the the lithium batteries, their backup system on the plane caught on fire. Could you imagine you're flying a 777 and all of a sudden, you got a fire on board? That's not very healthy.
No, let me tell you something. If I'm on that plane, I look out the window and I see a fire on the engines or the wings or somewhere. I can assure you, your anxiety level goes through the roof, and along with the other 100 passengers.
Well, how about underneath where you're sitting, where all that stuff was kept? And then they got a fire on the battery packs of lithium batteries. That'd be really scary because, again, you talk about the heat they generate, the type of fire that is. Scary situation. That's why I'm saying, people, don't buy off-brand lithium batteries unless you want to take the chance. That's up to you. But I can guarantee you're going to get one that, especially if you're using your cell phone, it'll work maybe good for a while. But besides, all of a sudden the battery may be going dead or getting hot. It's a good chance it's going to ruin your phone. Trust me.
And not only that, if you're buying off-brand or a cheaper brand, and it's a lot cheaper, there's a reason. Probably because they're cutting costs, and they're not making them up to code with the proper wrapping. So therefore, it's not protecting that lithium against, water or moisture. And these are dangerous things. They do not mix. Instantly, you're talking 3,000 degrees, wherever it is.
Well, I guess what you get paid for. If you go down to Verizon, they want $70-some for a battery. But if you find it on the net for $6.95, and that even includes the shipping, don't buy it. Trust me, I made that mistake one time.
It's not worth it because that kind of heat, even though it's isolated to a small area, that can be a catalyst for other things around you, not to mention leave a lifelong scar. My goodness.
Yeah, more than that. Boy, especially if it's in your pocket. I don't think honey's going to do any good, except maybe to soothe it. But
you're going to need a lot of honey for that one.
Yeah, guarantee it. Anyway, and is there enough bees left in our world to supply enough honey for that? I don't know. Now, tonight we're going to be talking with our guest here in about 20 minutes about old buildings. This guy is a professional photographer. He goes out and takes pictures of old buildings, and he claims some of them are haunted. Now, as you being a ghost hunter and everything you are, have you run across any old buildings that were haunted? I'm not talking people's houses now. I'm talking old commercial buildings like hotels and brothels. Places that made manufacturing plants, maybe, or old car manufacturing plants. Have you ever been into any of those?
Yes, I have. Matter of fact, about, somewhere in the mid to early 90s, I was living in Rhode Island. I went to a place in Pawtucket called Slater Mill. I used to fish there right behind it. And Slater Mill is one of the most haunted old buildings there is. It's still haunted because what they did back in the 1800s and even earlier, they had child labor. Because some of the machines in there, it took a child to crawl up in there because they were small enough to fix them and do things. And unfortunately, there were a lot of deaths of children and other people in there, and they're still residing in that factory. That is a very haunted place, Slater Mill is.
Yeah, but what type of things did they see in that place?
Spirits of all kinds, mostly children, though, but spirits of people, men, women, children, mostly children.
Did anybody ever check if they had a lot of deaths in that building? When they were. I take it must have been slave labor, huh?
Well, it was. See, we had different laws back in the 1800s. Children could work, and they made them work or whatever. I don't know how it was, but they worked in there because they're the only ones that could fit in certain machines to fix them and set them or whatnot. And unfortunately, a lot of them, it was a paper mill, and they'd get caught in the machines, mangled and killed. And unfortunately, it's a tragic thing, and they're still residing there. And I have checked history. A lot of people have, and there's been documented deaths there throughout the years.
Well, have you ever thought of going there and doing a nice thing and helping them cross over to the other side?
I have, and I couldn't get access to it, but I did do some work outside there on the grounds and did similar things to that. And, there's another Rocky used to be a Rocky Point amusement park. There was an old chowder house and stuff. It's